All right, good evening, everyone. How are you doing today? Trust you have had an awesome week so far, and you are looking forward to the weekend. We have a few of you on here tonight. Tonight is our grand finale, and we have two announcements to make also. So please join us tonight. And so I'll give a few seconds still for some others to log in here. I want to upload a new slide, and then I have one or two gifts that I'm gonna give out to you also. So who do we have on tonight? Who do we have on tonight? Finale. Let me put this in. Give us a sec. We're still getting set up here. Just a moment. But if you are in, please introduce yourself. Let us know that you are on here. Got a few quick questions for you. And just to keep you up to breath what we're going to be doing as we wrap this up tonight. What is next? That's what everyone wants to know. We have had an awesome 5 weeks together. So do we just drop everything? Well, you're going to find out at the end of tonight's presentation. So have no fear on that. We are coming with a message for tonight. I see Barbara on here. Thelma Alvarado is on here this evening. Good to have you. Let's see what else we got. This afternoon was a busy afternoon here. We actually had some guests. One of them actually is one of our students who has been in the program that we're talking about here. So that was very neat and interesting. A friend of mine. So he's actually a nurse practitioner. Well, studying to be. He's almost finished with his stuff. He's a nurse right now, but he's one of the students in this program. Okay, my screen is too big here. Donna is here. Great information shared thus far. Well, thank you. We appreciate it, and thank you for sharing the great information too with us. Raul, hey, Raul is here on here. Good to have you, buddy. Are you back home as yet? Martha is on with us. We got some faithful folks. Luther Charles is on. Good evening, Luther. How are you doing, sir? Good afternoon or good evening to you. I think, well, you in Texas as well, so it should be the same time. So good evening to you. Okay. Let's see who else. I don't want to miss anyone. Okay. Let's see. One more. Let me go to this other section here. I should have had some other. Zelda is on tonight. Zelda, how are you? Good evening to you. Thanks for taking some time out to be with us here. I see also Melissa, Patty. Well, Luther, I already mentioned Luther on here as well. Okay, so we're gonna get with it. Barbara, always a soldier. Barbara, we gotta reward you tonight. I'm trying to also upload some file here, but it's a lot. So I'll get to it before the end of the presentation. So yeah, what have you learned so far? This is the grand finale. We're wrapping it up. We're bringing it to a close. So as Thelma is saying here, do you mind sharing what you've learned? If this information was helpful, because we want to bring information that may be a blessing to you, that can help you take your life to another level. If you learn something, if you like a particular presentation you want to go in depth on, actually we can reach out to some of the presenters again and have them come on and talk more in depth, because of course they are experts. They know a whole lot more than they were able to share. But Thelma Albert says we've learned so much on the last class. Yes, I have learned quite a bit myself. Well, Don already put on there, great information shared. Yes, this is one of the powerful things of technology. You know, my friend was here earlier too, and we were talking again about, you know, just technology and how it really is changing the way we live. But yeah, most people focus from the negative perspective, and everything can be negative. I mean, think about it. Even the Bible can be negative. You realize that people even take the Bible and use it for their own purposes, malicious purposes, help people in bondage, hold them as slave, all this kind of stuff. I mean, so people can do negative stuff with almost anything. A knife is good. I use knife to peel my fruits, to put spread on my bread and different things like that. But people can use them to kill as well. So that's what knowledge is all about. We want to take the positive. We want to use what is good and discard what is not good. Barbara says she learned a lot from each class. Now, let me ask a question. Who has been here every single night, every single presentation that we've had? Who has been here? Okay, let's see, files. Trying to upload a file here I want to give to you. Who has been here? That's the question. If you've been here, or how many presentations have you attended? We had about 7 presenters, I think, or 8 presenters. So let's see. Let me go through. We had Dr. Robert Lewis was the first one, but I have a slide on there. But let me see if I can remember to the good nuggy, see if it's working properly. We had Dr. Robert Lewis on first, and then we had Dr. Cooper on next. Then we had Dr. Tamayo on. And then after Dr. Tamayo, we had Dr. Barbosa. Then after Dr. Barbosa, we had David Chong. Then after David Chong, we had Dr. Baca. Then I think we had, after that, we had Dr. Judith Fisher. And then you had Chance. So we've had 8 presenters so far. And the reason, like I said, we last presentation on Monday, we were supposed to have Dr. Creola Charles, but she was called back to work. So we just end up having a good discussion. I think the Holy Ghost took over that one. But here's the interesting thing too, right? Each and every one of us, we've all learned something. Like you said, I learned a lot. This is a great way. And by the way, this is something that I normally do as well here, but we also used to have a show on, was it Facebook? We used to do a Facebook show live every Tuesday. We called it the Monetize You Show. And I mean, we did that, I think, over a year, and we would bring on different experts and so forth. And we, and you learn a lot like that. And so that's what I'm saying. These are many ways that if you want to know something, somebody is out there that can teach it to you. So you don't always have to go alone or try to figure everything out. Matter of fact, again, my book Monetize Your Skills, that's really what it was too, right? It was a project, but then the idea was I went to interview a lot of people who were doing 6 and 7 figures online, and I asked them to dispel their knowledge, and I actually compiled that into a book, and it has grown into a course, and now actually a whole community here. So learning does not have to be hard. People really want to share, and sometimes we are afraid. Okay, let me see here. We are afraid of asking for help because sometimes we think, well, people are not willing to share. But what I've found, especially successful people share. Don't be afraid of people. People are more willing to help than you realize. So, let's let go of those mindsets, those negative mindsets that, people are want to keep everything to themselves. They're not willing to share, and those that's not the way. We want to be, I share with people. They ask me different things. I do stuff for folks. It all depends, yes, but, people like to also share with people who they know is going to take action on what they're doing as well. So you have that to your advantage. Just ask, right? Scripture says, ask and you shall what? You shall receive. If you don't ask, well, chances are you may not receive. But most likely I have found that if you ask, you shall receive. And here's the thing. Tonight, for example, well, actually, just for all of these presentations, right? I just asked the individuals. Think about it. They didn't have to do it, but I just asked. And my friend asked me, actually, I didn't have to do it. I wasn't doing this. I was doing something else. But he asked me. And then guess what? Because he asked me, I went ahead and asked others. And actually, every one of the presenters who were on here, I only asked them once. I did not ask them more than one time. I just asked once. And they were able to reciprocate. And that's just how life goes. Ask and it shall be given unto you. Okay? So Let's see what else here. Melissa said, I missed only the first one. So Melissa, you were here. Barbara says, missed only the first one. Okay, good. So the thing is, each of you are going to get a gift tonight. I'm trying to upload it. It's taking a little bit. So let me go to my presentation first, and then what we're going to do is I'll try to do the upload while we're going. So I'm switching over here to my slide. I don't have a lot of slides tonight. I just want to share a little bit. We're going to wrap this up, like I said. Melissa said, not me. I have not missed any. Hold on. Oh, Martha, sorry, 2 M's. Maybe I need some glasses. Martha says, I've only missed one, the first one. And then Melissa said, no, Melissa has not missed any. Wow, okay, so we have different prizes we're going to give here. Okay, good stuff. Okay, so let's go in here. So here's the thing. The students are all finished, by the way. They're finished with their finals, okay? And like we said last Monday, some of them were also taking exams. And so, but officially, like I said, one of my friends was here as well, and you know, he confirmed as well. So they're done, and so that's another good thing. You and I were able to participate and help people achieve something. That's the power of community, right? So you and I, we took our time out to be here, but we were part of something bigger than ourselves. I think when we have that type of mindset and focus, like you kind of attract different kind of people and quality people to your life. So that's something you really want to keep in the back of your mind, that try to be available when people need you. But again, don't let them walk over you. But I'm saying is try to be available when people need you, because the more you help others, interestingly, the golden rule applies, right? The more you help other people, others are willing to help you. And people like to also be a part of something greater than themselves. So that's one of the reasons why I also think that, again, most of the people who I reached out to do this, you know, they were all okay. So because again, my friend asked me to do it, then I said, okay, sure, because this is a cause beyond me. If we can help students to achieve their goal by completing, you know, their semester, then why not? And all I did was reach out, and when I tell them this is what we're doing, they too were able to reciprocate. So you see that's trifecta blessing right there. And that's a win-win-win situation. Most people go for win-win. I go for what I call now trifecta effect, right? It's 3 forms of blessings. So we are blessed. We receive information. We receive knowledge, right? The presenters are blessed for them. They being able to share their knowledge and expertise, and also put their information out there. Now people know about them, and some may want to follow them. But the students were also blessed. One day, the students were also blessed because, hello, Eva, good to have you tonight. You know, the students were also blessed, so they were able to receive the knowledge, and then also, you know, to help them with their paper. Matter of fact, my friend also told me that, interestingly, the night when we did which one I forgot. I think it may have been the depression one, either the depression one or addiction one. He said, interestingly, he said, this stuff that we did is what's going to be, is what we're preparing for the test the next day. And I was like, wow. I said, hey, I didn't know that. Hey, we just, you know, we have the schedule and this is the order that is going to be in. But interestingly said, I think, like I said, it's either the night of the depression presentation or the night of the addiction. And he was like, this is exactly what we needed, because this is what we're going to be tested on tomorrow. So, you know, that's one of the things that really makes me, this is the kind of stuff I live for, you know, just being able to impact lives. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure out what motivates you and what drives you. But this is my motivation. I'm motivated intrinsically. I like to be able to touch people's life, know that you are blessing multiple people. So congratulations. Let me just say that. Congratulations to you for being a member of our community and for being here, because, like I said, you have contributed to others being able to finish you know, at least a semester, and that is helpful. So on behalf of them, I also want to express my thanks to each and every one of you. Okay, let's see. So yeah, so Eva just joined us here. Let me do a refresh and see if anyone else is on here. Okay. Del Rose is on here. Del Rose, good evening to you. Welcome. And again, feel free to just share something. How has the presentation been a blessing to you, or what have you learned? So again, so these were some of our key presenters. We covered the topics of resiliency, disaster and trauma, addiction and recovery, depression and suicide, and pretty much all of these can be wrapped in a issues that take place within a clinical environment, primarily for uh, nurses, nurse practitioners that are providing service to that environment. But for you and me, this, I hope, at least it helped me in some aspect, not only to learn how to be well, but to stay well as well by managing my emotional states. Promo Girl is here. Promo Girl, Norma, good evening to you. Good to see you. And so, yeah, so these are all the stuff. Again, on behalf of everyone here, on behalf of the students at the Southern Indiana University, I want to thank you for participating. Dr. Robert Lewis, Dr. Donna Cooper, Dr. Jerry Tamayo, Dr. Shirley Barbosa, Dr. Judith Fisher, Dr. Miracle Baca, and also David M. Chung, licensed professional counselor right in our area as well. Well, he's in Harlingen, well, not too far from us. But we really appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time out. So one of the things I'd like to do is for the presenters, if you are on here, or maybe if they'll reach out to me later on, what I would like to do for one of the presenters, because you have also extended your time, we would like to extend our time to either help you to develop something, to create something, record a video. I know I talked to Robert Lewis, and I was, telling him to record his presentation again, and put it out there, make it professional, and put it out there for people to be able to consume it. Of course, it's on our website and YouTube, but we want him to be able to start doing this too as well. Online is the wave of the future, and all professionals need to have more content out there. So if that's something you may need help with to get set up, or to just help you create your web presence, let us know. We'll be willing to help you on there. Eva says depression and suicide. Okay. Yes. That topic, man, we can really go more and more into all of them actually. But I really appreciate the two best ones for me. I would say were the addiction and the depression one, because I think if people really master the addiction in particular, because addiction is, like I said, it's not only the negative stuff that we are used to, cutting and want to kill yourself, but addiction to bad habits. And who does not want to break bad habits? Those are the things that keep us from achieving success and realizing our full potential. So that's why I think delving a little bit deeper into that would make a big difference. So, but if you want to catch the replay, here's what I'm doing. I know last week we put up the replay for a little bit for the weekend, but I'm going to leave that up for another week. Okay. For those of you who, some of you might have missed one or two sessions, or if you do want to share it, it's strategicsecrets.com/weekly replay. Okay. So all the presentations are there by each presenter. I'm leaving it up for you to go and rewatch, binge watch, digest the information, or to share it out. Okay. Then after that, we make it part of our online community. We have an online community group, Strategic Secrets University, where we create courses, and in those courses we have like a private membership, and so that's where most of our content lies. And that's why you notice, again, for me, a year and a half to 2 years ago, we did a lot of stuff publicly, but for now we found that we just really want to deal with and focus on people who really need help and service. So we do live stuff like this, but you really have to be in a link and to be part of our email list. And so that's why we do this, because we want to just impact the lives, and we want people who really want to grow. We don't have time for other stuff and trivialities. We want to grow with people who are serious about their life, their career or ministry, and those type of things. So we do the private community. Strategic Secrets is a private community, and so you can become part of that. So what's next? Well, first, let me give you a little more tip from tonight before we get into that. So after all, we're talking about mental and emotional well-being. Last presentation, we got into some things about how to be a top performer. Tonight, I want to share with you again a few more tips on how to manage your mental and emotional states, right? How to manage your mental and emotional states. Again, this is not so much from an academic perspective, but a more of a personal and professional development perspective. So here are some tips. If you want to manage your mental and emotional states and well-being, you know already from what we've covered in the last 5 weeks that is very important to your well-being, to your health in every way. Okay. So number one, is understand the power of your mind, right? Now it's simple, right? But many people don't understand the power of your mind. Your mind is the house for all of your behaviors and activities, right? Your mind is the computer, the brain that dictates what the rest of the body does. Alrighty? So the mind is more powerful than we all realize. Even folks of faith and spirituality. It is the mind that actually worship gods, and it is in the mind where the Spirit of God dwells. Because God, when we say the body, my whole body, yes, is the temple of God, but is he in my flesh? Is he in my skin? Where is he? My mind is the reasoning capacity, right? And so if the mind is not in a right place, then the body is affected. But what people have done is we have allowed the body to control the mind instead of the mind controlling the body. And this is the problem. And that's where the struggle comes in, right? It is also where, for example, it said the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. The flesh, the body is weak, but the mind, that's really what I'm saying. We have a mind to change, but we don't change because the body is weak, because we have abused it and we have allowed it to gain its way for so many years. So in other words, when you feel hunger, that's the body crying out. But the mind can dictate what the body receives. So that's why Paul also says, I must bring my body under subjection. He says, I buffet my body. He does not allow his body to control him. So we have to use the mind that God gives us in order for us to have transformation, in order for us to develop the better habits and actions that we need. So they say, for example, psychosomatic illnesses, right? Mind-body connection, mind-body relationship. Now, again, some people get off on a tangent into the mystical, and you don't have to do that. It is clear. Your mind creates emotions as well. Okay? For example, when we say, I don't feel this way, my body responds a certain way. Okay? You get up in the morning, you said, I feel X, Y, and Z, the body begins to do those type of things. Even if it was not there before. If you keep telling yourself, for example, people say, I'm ugly, I've been dumb, and so forth. You grew up with all these mindset, though it was not true, but because you believed it here, now we are seeing the externalities, the results are in the manifestation. So that's why when we talk about the next step, you don't want to start from the outside, the behaviors on the outside. You want to start from the inside, which is here. Okay. Next point is that we must have a prayerful mental attitude, right? Some people say you need to have a positive mental attitude. So it's similar, but I want to say you want to have a prayerful mental attitude, PMA. So most people, again, like I said, the rest of the world, when they put this, they say, you know, you have the power of a positive mental attitude, which is good. And that's true. Positivity beats negativity every single time. If you are negative, it creates a negative environment in your body, in your mind, and in your emotions. So in order for you to change, we have to begin to think more positively. Okay. But why the reason I say to have a prayerful positive attitude too is because that many of our prayers are also negative. They are reversal prayers. So you want to pray positively, and by praying positively, we begin to work in harmony with our prayers. What do I mean? Some people pray for this one thing, but they act in a different way. That's not praying in harmony. That's not working and praying in harmony, right? For example, let's just say hypothetically, okay, I'm praying to be debt free, good thing, but then I'm still having the habits of a spender and not saving and not doing any of that, that is not positive praying. That's negative praying, because you are living out of sync with what you are believing. Another way to put it, which would be in what we're talking about, that's cognitive dissonance, right? You're holding two opposing views within the mind. And again, the dominant one will play out, but the dominant one is what the most likely the negative, because that's what we've been having. Hence, we are trying to pray ourselves out of it. But you have to, that's why we say you have to believe. And what does it take to believe? Believe is here. Believe is a state of mind, right? Even poverty is not, poverty is experienced on the outside for the most part, but poverty itself is a state of mind. You give a person $1 million, they can still act poor and talk poor. You take a person out of the hood and put them in a different community, they still act the same, because their mindset has not changed. This is nothing against the poor, by the way. I'm just giving an illustration that it all is here. And so that's why in relationships, we see the same thing. You know, if one partner feels unloved, well, they also have to check themselves. Do you love and appreciate you? So sometimes we are looking for somebody else to validate it, but we don't believe in ourselves. And we see that a lot, right? So some people, ladies might say, well, you know, I don't feel beautiful. So they want somebody to tell them they're beautiful. But if you don't believe you're beautiful and accept that you are beautiful, it doesn't matter what someone else tells you. It may help for a time, but you are the one who must believe with your mind that you are beautiful. Because until that change, you will always go around with what? A negative self-image of who you are. And that's why we need to begin to be transformed indeed by renewing our mind, which is the next one, right? Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Now, Paul mentioned this. So again, that's why I say all these principles, I'm hoping we get balanced, because a lot of people think that the Bible or scripture is not about success, inspiration, motivation, personal development, all of these things. All these principles from all these books really derive their truth or truisms from the Bible. So, positive thoughts. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. That's a biblical reference, right? Psychologists tell you don't work from the outside, work from the inside. Well, Paul said that already, Romans chapter 7 and Romans chapter 12. So he gave the dichotomy. This is a duality, or this is cognitive dissonance that we experience if you read Romans chapter 7, verses 15 to 25. He says, the things I want to do, I don't do, and that which I don't want to do, that's what I end up doing. What's the solution, right? Now, most people focus just on the first part of verse number 24 and 25, but let me tell you this, Paul gives the answer there, and it's not simply just that first part. He said, when he cries out, oh wretched man that I am, who will deliver me? Notice he says from this body, right? Because that's where the action is taking place. But if you go back earlier, Paul says he sees a law, two laws that's warring within himself, right? He says there's a law warring in his members, his flesh, his body. You see those two things? His body, and another law warring with my mind. Now we understand. That's the dualism that we all go through. We all experience these two modes of operation. That's why there's cognitive dissonance. But the one that you feel the most will win out every single time. Again, Galatians, he also said it in Galatians. He said the spirit wars against the flesh against the spirit. These two are contrary one to another, so that you can't do the things you want to do. That's why we can't break addictions, right? We don't want to step and watch TV all night. That's what we end up doing. We don't want to eat all the chocolate. That's what we end up doing. So how are we going to solve this problem? Paul gives us the answer. Be transformed. How? Not by be transformed by your habits and by your actions. Those are working from the outside in, and that's where some psychologists get it wrong. The problem is that will give you temporarily relief, but it will not give you lasting relief. Why? Because the mindset has not changed. So therefore, Paul says in Romans chapter 12, now verses 1 and 2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, not renewing of your habits. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. In Romans 7, the same place where he explains the fight that goes on with every human being when we do bad things and we can't break it. The good we want to do, we can't end up doing it. We don't want to procrastinate, we procrastinate. He says, what is the reason here? He says, now, this is the law I find in my body. First of all, the flesh. Because he's in the flesh, this body, it has all the proclivities, the propensities to do wrong, to do evil, to do the things we don't want to do. That's really what's in the flesh, in the body. So what he says is, I see another law, one with the law of my mind. Notice now, he says, with my mind, I serve the law of God. But with my flesh, with my body, I serve the law of sin. Now, we take that on the outside because, again, most people on the outside, if we not, you tell them that, they'll be like, well, they don't want to hear that. So now, here's how we translate that now to the world. With your mind, you do the positive things you want to do. With your mind, you exercise. With your mind, you eat right. With your mind, you become successful. With your mind, you prosper. With your mind, but with your body, notice that's the negative now, because he said, in my flesh, that's in your body, you end up doing those things. That's why we need to let the mind control the body and not the body control the mind. Right? So we are transformed by renewing the mind. The mind is where all the action takes place, good and bad. So if you want the lasting change, you must begin to change here, and it will manifest itself in due time outside on the external. So like someone says, the devil's work, drivers keep working on the outside, working on this problem. We call that putting out fire. You find one problem in your character, we try to fix it. The devil brings up another one, and you try to fix that. And no wonder we just give up. And you say, hey, forget it. Because you keep trying and you keep failing. I started the program 15 times and I still can't get nothing. What you got to do is you have to recondition your mind. And we've gone through some of that. How do we recondition our mind? Several steps. One, you have to put the good in. So they say garbage in, garbage out. Well, the opposite is equally true. You put the good in, you get the good out. So how do you transform your mind? I'll just give you a few tips. Number one is you have to read some more, right? You got to read. Many of us, we don't want to read. So we have to do what? Become a lifelong learner. Learn the things that you want, and so they will impact your mind and beliefs. Those of you who are people of the faith, guess what? You got to read the word some more. I know we say it, but let's be honest. Most of us do not read the word and study the word like we need to. What I'm talking about is this. Many of us are getting by spiritually, but you are not doing and thriving successfully. Here's why. You go to school and you spend hours studying your books. See the difference? You study in engineer, you study in math, you study in science, you study in geography, geometry, whatever it is. You study all those things. Do we apply the word? Do we do that with the word? You don't. We have a mere casual reading. Okay, now you have to do that too. That's part of study. But we cannot expect to become our best selves and live up to the full potentials that we have if that's going to be our attitude. It's not going to happen, folks. It's not going to happen. So you're just going to get by and keep getting by. And that's why we keep struggling. We keep losing battles. And then we blame God, blame angels, even, it's too hard or we can't ever do right and so forth and whatnot. And then all of a sudden there are other people over there who are doing it. Even if one person on the earth is doing a thing that is good and right, then everybody on earth can do that one thing as well. Okay, so but the point is, many of us, again, we are not thriving because we have lost the priority that the word's supposed to have in our lives. So that's what he says, be transformed. You eat the word, be transformed by renewing of your mind. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ, right? What kind of mind did he have? He had a powerful mind. He didn't have a lazy mind. He didn't have a sluggish mind. He had a powerful, positive mind. And then Corinthians tells us that we have this mind also, right? We have this first. We have this as well. Oralia says, when I got my first job, many closed the door, but I never gave up. So I got the job and became a manager. Yes, and if I would sit down with you and take you through the process things that were happening in your mind, then you would realize that there was a system and a strategy to it. See, many of us, we do things, but we don't understand why we do them or even how they're done. But that's why we want to be pragmatic here. So what I'm saying is, Aurelia, for example, I'm sure there were certain things you were telling yourself. You could not have gotten the job or stayed the course by telling yourself and be doubting yourself. Oh, woe is me. Every job I apply for, I'm always a failure. No, I'm sure you were motivated, you were inspired, and the things you were telling yourself, I'm going to get a job no matter what. I'm going to keep going. Those are positive, right? That's a positive. But when we say the negative stuff now, our emotions respond to the negativity, and then we give up, then we feel bad, we get depressed, we get all of that stuff, and we go down and down and down and down. Already? So Another way is, remember now, how do we receive information? Well, it's just like the virus, right? Sometimes it comes to our nose, our ears, it comes to our hair, it comes to our eyes, it comes to our mouths, every place, right? So the same thing with positive and powerful information. If I'm going to transform the mind, I must begin to hear the things that are conducive with the character or the habit or action that I'm trying to emulate or have in my life. I must read it, meaning I see it, I think about it, and I must also speak it with my mouth. Ministry of Healing, there's a wonderful book there, talks about these things as well, right? Even singing praises, right? So you have to speak the way you want to be, and the day will come when you will be the way you speak. Think the way you want to be, and the day will come when you will be the way you think. See, it is these type of things that no one has really taught us, but many of us probably have been doing them if you're successful, but we've never understood why we got these results. Well, these are some of the reasons why we got the results. So begin to learn, begin to read, begin to study, begin to listen to uplifting and inspiring and encouraging and the positive. Okay, and that's what I want to be giving to some of you on this evening as well. Some tools to help you develop in that area. Let's see if I have another tip here. Okay, well, I think I've said all of these. Never dwell on doubts, defeats, discouragement. We call them the negative D's, right? Defeat, despair, discouragement, and all of those type of things, right? So most of the D words in D's are generally negative, right? So we want to stay away from that. Depression, discouragement, defeat, despair, doom, and all of these different things. We want to not focus on these. So if you're not going to focus on these, you're going to focus on the opposite of them, right? O'Reilly said, people told me you will never make it. Exactly. And that conditioned many people. There are many young people today, and even adults, I should say, who believe those conditioning in their youth, and they develop this negative self-complex, or many of them never achieve much because this is how they view themselves. That's why it's very important for us not to be telling these children the same things that we heard, right? I said I will, I'm confident it will happen, and so it did. Exactly, there you go. So that means you were positively cognitive, you were giving yourself CBT and didn't know it. You were giving yourself cognitive behavioral therapy right there, and you were not even aware of it. But that's exactly what it is. You were saying to yourself what you want yourself to be, even though you might not be it right now. That's why I say speak the way you want to be, and the day will come. You might not be it right now, but you are speaking the reality. That's faith, right? The Bible says, call those things which be not as though they were. So we are waiting for us to become. No, you already are. You have to speak the way you think you want to be right now, because that's how you will be in the future. So in other words, some people feel like it's lying to yourself. Well, you're lying to yourself by saying you're ugly, you can't make it, because that's not how the God sees you. You want to tell me a big God like that sees us like this? No. Why would he die for trash? No, that doesn't make sense. So you have to speak in harmony with the word. That's what we say. You believe in lies. You believe in the wrong things anyhow. So some people don't, that's why some people also don't engage in CBT, because they think that it's, I'm lying to myself. Listen, if you call yourself a failure, you're a liar. God doesn't create. Think about it. God, we are all of God's creation. Tell me something that God creates. Do you think God creates anything to be a failure? God doesn't create things to fail. God doesn't create useless things. So if I say I'm useless, I am actually calling myself something that God has not called me. Where did that come from? That's lying to myself as well, right? But no, what we are saying is faith. Faith does not wait for the manifestation of a thing to be realized before it is believed. Rather, faith believes now, even without the present manifestation. Otherwise, why call it faith? That's why he said faith is the substance of things hoped for, right? Hope for, meaning it's not, maybe not there now, but I'm hoping for it. And the evidence, what is evidence? It seems like an oxymoron, right? The evidence of things not seen, even though you don't see it now, but it's still evidence. Evidence is something tangible. You cannot tell me it's evidence and you can't see it. It doesn't make sense. But what he's saying is that's what faith is. So faith sees what the naked eyes cannot see. Are we there? Faith sees what the naked eye cannot see, right? So some people, again, that's what we say, the world out there, we have allowed the world to run with all these things. Why we as God's people have been, in the dust. So because they call it self-fulfilling prophecy, or we don't want to use those terms, Those are psychological terms, as if, you know, God is anti-science. It doesn't make sense. And so many of us are also in the health field. I don't understand us sometimes, right? Many of us are in the health field, and yet we act so anti-science. Listen, science does not need to confirm the word of God, okay? But in many ways, science does confirm the word of God, but God is not waiting for science to confirm anything, because faith sometimes puts science to shame. We are okay when science confirms, but we don't have to go and wait for science to confirm a thing of faith, because faith is sometimes indeed outside of science, right? Because a whole lot of this stuff is all about faith anyways, right? What's the placebo effect? The placebo effect is the power of belief in action, both positive and negative. So that's what I'm saying. They crouch that into that language, and we don't use it because, listen, placebo is about believing a thing will heal you or not. It's the same thing. According to your faith be it unto you. It's the same thing, folks. It's the power of belief at work, whether it's positive or negative. Belief has two components. We don't want the negative side. So when you believe, when you're saying, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail, what you're doing is you're conditioning yourself for failure. So you might as well go ahead and do the other thing. But remember, faith brings the thing into being. So even if you are not there right now, you don't say I'm a lazy person. You say, no, I'm diligent. I am an on-time person. I'm this, I'm whatever. Call yourself what you want to be. And another important reason for that is, if you can't say the good thing about who you are, why should somebody else say that? Because what image are you giving to them? People call you what you are. So if you act negative, if you act unloving, if you act rude, that's why they call you rude. So if you want people to change what they call you, you start calling yourself something else. All right, folks. I hope that helped you. I hope that helped you. So those are some of the principles I want you to keep in mind, that, again, mental and emotional health is very important. Most of the time, and remember, that's why, again, I'm going to be talking about that this weekend, the idea of balance, because we have to be holistic, okay? Sometimes, again, even when we talk about health in general, in my sphere of influence, we either focus on nutrition, and that's pretty much that gets the most attention. Nutrition is very important, but we cannot put nutrition only and then minimize the others, because here's the thing, like I said, in my case, if I am, generally speaking, I know if I am not well and I get sick, it's not really going to be a result of nutrition. It will be something of these other health principles. So that's why we have to be in harmony. And I chose this theme also because I know that this aspect of health is the most neglected in what I've seen. The mindset is the most neglected, okay? Because, again, you go there. Every time you learn about nutrition, you learn about this exercise. Well, we don't even dwell on those much, right? We just touch them on them a little bit. You know how that's all we always do, right? God is a God of order, but we always pick out our one or two that we like, and that's it. And those might not be the issues that we've fallen on. You know, it's kind of like the 10 Commandments, right? There are 10 of them, and we dwell on one. That's the one. But that's not the one that's tripping us up. All of us, we are worshiping God, all right? But here's the thing. We're lying, we're doing all these other things on the other side, right? So that's why you need balance and harmony in your life, and be holistic about all you do. So mindset, I would tell you, mindset is very, very important. And we need to embrace people, like even Oralia is sharing even on here. You know, that's why we want to create this space, so that people can grow together and not be ashamed. And we can also challenge one another. You don't have to take everything I say. That's fine as well. We are all educated, intellectual people. But intellectual people do not shun themselves from knowledge exchange, because there's something that you can discover that might be the thing that transform your life, right? So Oralia says here, since I was an alcoholic, I was told that you will never make it. I kicked the bottle also with God's help, and I did indeed make it. Congratulations, sister. That's a powerful testimony right there. This is someone who has been there, done that, but she's heard all the negative stuff, right? And that's why we say, imagine if you had a doctor, a nurse, and something telling patients that. You don't see that. They don't tell people that. They tell them something else. No, you can overcome. You can do better. You can, you know, this is possible. That's what we need. That's faith talk. That's the kind of stuff that we need more of today, okay? Not less of. Alrighty. Anyone else would like to share anything there? Let's let me finish up this presentation here. So now, Chance, what's next? Okay, by the way, type in a few things here. I'm going to see if I can try this upload one more time here. Any other comments there? We're bringing it to a close now. What other tips do you have for maintaining peak mental and emotional well-being? Okay, because we may not dwell on this one for a while, so you've had it on there, but nonetheless, we praise God for the time that we have had to talk about this particular topic. But what else do you have? What do you think are some good principles to keep in mind? Anyone would like to share a few things there? Let's see here. Okay, my computer's tripping. All right, so let's so what's next? Okay, while you're gathering your thoughts together, what's next? So where do we go from here, Chance? Where do we go from here? Well, there are several options that you have. Okay, regardless of what, especially now that folks are coming out of the lockdown and folks are going back to some of their regular activities. I just want to ask you to continue learning, whether it's with us or not. I want you to continue learning. That's one of the things we had stressed in a prior webinar, is that during the lockdown was a good season for you to begin learning, begin expanding, but continue that. Like take your learning serious. We can be lifelong learners, by the way. It doesn't matter how old you are, right? You do not stop learning until the day you die, till you breathe your last. Even last night I went to a funeral, a ceremony, well, memorial ceremony, I guess we'll call it, and it was good being there because the deceased was 92 years old. We had a senator there as well that gave him a citation. He was a military veteran in the Korean War era, actually. So this man lived well. But here's the thing, and I told them, when I do funerals, there's two types of mourning, maybe even three, but two types of mourning that I observe. One mourning, the main mourning that most people do, is the mourning of regret. They're going through grief, yes, but it's more from a perspective of I wish I had done this. I wish we had more time. I wish things were better. I should have done X, Y, and Z. That's the remorse. That's a more remorseful. Then there is another one of joy, like last night. And sometimes you can tell when, like I said, I know nobody's going to go speak negative at a funeral. But I mean, I've done enough now to know when people are trying to make up things to say about the person who passed on. I mean, because no one wants to be disrespectful at that time, right? And I understand that. But here's my point. You want people to speak well of you because that's how they feel when you pass on. Not make up stuff, in other words, lying. And even the man's grandson, he said, I had something prepared. I typed out what I wanted to say, but I'm just going to speak from the heart. Isn't that powerful? Right? His granddaughter was able to speak. Every person spoke well of this man. And I know I spoke well because I know since I've been here almost 6 years now, I know this individual, this man here, and he went into the nursing home. But here's the thing. Even just before he went to the nursing home, this man was serving at church. I'm talking about doing communion. Okay. That is a life well lived. People should talk about, man, this guy gave me a car. They didn't even know me, he gave me a car. I mean, different things like that. Also how he became a person of faith. It's someone shared the story. One individual just told him once. You didn't have to tell him 15 times, like how you gotta, work with some people forever. He said he shared it with him once. The next week, the man was in church, gave his life to God, changed his whole life right there. His granddaughter shared a story that one time she was outside, even playing with ants and killing the ants, and he came and and gave her a talk about that. And yeah, even these ants, as simple as they are, we should not be harming God's creation. And then she said when she went back in and came out, he had made like a little hut kind of a thing over the ants nest to protect the ants. I'm like, wow. such a detail. So that's legacy. The person lived their life to the best of their ability. You know, again, we say life is God's gift to you. What you do with your life is your gift back to God, and you have to determine how well you're going to live, because we all want. I don't only want to hear well done, good and faithful servant. I want to hear I have given you life and you maximize it, and hear all the people that you whose life you impacted. That's what I also want to hear. Well done and good and faithful servant is for everybody. Now that's good. Even if you get in by the skin of your teeth, make sure you get in. It's better to be in than out, right? So, but my point is though, I want us to live holistic, balanced lives, thinking about the impact we're gonna make, and that means you have to utilize all of your God-given faculties. You have to develop your mindset. That doesn't mean you have to go to school if that's not what you want to do, but books and information and knowledge is readily available. It's readily available. Okay, so here we go. Barbara says, I think you have said it. Okay, yes, by God's grace. Okay, here we go. So what's next? Here's my new thing. I want to unveil right now a project that I have been working on, and that, Martha says, I would say consistency is very important to get the results. Also, try not to have excuse. Yes, excuses derail us. Okay. In this book, Strategic Secret, I have a chapter on excuses, right? Excuses are definitely not good. But set the time aside to work on your goals and self-care, very important. Help others with what you have learned. That's the simple recipe right there. We don't all have to be the greatest. Just share what you know and have learned and experienced. No one can say you don't experience that. It's your experience. Like Oralia, for example, she was an alcoholic. Guess who's the best person to teach about overcoming, alcoholism? She is, even beyond me, because I might be able to go and gather all the facts and data and so forth, but she went through it. That's the person who should be talking about it most. You see? So, but we relegate a lot of our knowledge and experiences to other people. But listen, if you've gone through something, you are the best person to share. If you've been through divorce, you are the best person to help another person going through a divorce. If you have been through cancer or any other sickness, you are one of the best persons to help other people to overcome the same thing. That's what we talk about. When you are reconciled, he says, he has now given you the ministry of reconciliation. What does he mean by that? The same way you came to Christ, now he is able to use you to be a blessing to others. That's why I don't try to be anybody else. And I tell people, I am not for everyone. That is clear. I am not for everyone. But that's why I also learn from different people, and I allow other people to share as well, because we all kind of gel with different people, and that's okay. But you don't have to try to be anybody else. Why am I going to try to be anybody else? You know, I have a hard time sometimes being my own self. So I'm not going to try to be anybody else. So it's either you love me with flaws and all, or you don't. That's cool with me. You can listen to me read my book. You can don't read it. It's not going to affect me one bit. Why? Because there are people who do. And that's what you have to focus on. As long as I'm touching one person's life, at least I'm using my talents for something. You know, a lady, it was said that Dwight Moody was a famous preacher. And this English lady, who was preaching a revival series. And the lady said, you know, Mr. Moody, I count, she was like an English teacher, something. She said, I count so many grammatical errors in your message. And Moody said, well, lady, I'm using all the English I know. What are you doing with all the English that you know? Right? And so that's really what it is. It's just share what you have. Don't try to be all things to all people. So here's my next project. I'm working on a book. I already have the title. It's not written yet because I'm going to take a few people on this journey with me. It's called Pandemic Survival Secrets: How to Prepare for Pestilences, Plagues, and Perils. That's my new book. What do you think? And don't just say, oh, just because you want me to feel good, right? Any thoughts on that, right? What do you think? Does that sound like something that people will be interested in? Pandemic Survival Secrets. So that's a book that I will be bringing out. But first, I'm bringing out a course before it, because I normally tell people, if you want to create a course, do it with a book, and then make the book into a course and so forth. But I'm going to reverse engineer this time. So I'm going to create the course first, and then I'm going to turn it into a book. Okay. So I'm going to invite some of you to be part of that process. So this is my next thing. Here's the online course that is going to be out. Hopefully, our goal is definitely going to be out this month. And so Pandemic Survival System is the course. The book is Pandemic Survival Secrets. So the course is going to be about this topic. I was saying, I think to Martha that, I should have released this about a month ago, right? But here's the thing, it's all right because there are more to come. And not only that, but sometimes you learn. So like I've learned a few lessons because of this issue here. But here's the thing though, it's not like I just really got this idea. It was there all along. That's another thing. You got to strike while hot, right? So, but this is it's going to be an online course that people can access from anywhere in the world as long as you have a computer, your digital device. You'll be able to do that. So it's going to have three main sections. These are three modules that it's going to have. Module number 1 is going to be talking about practical planning for times of trouble. Okay, so we're going to use a twofold because by now you see my essence about being balanced. So we're not only going to focus on spiritual, but that will be a big part of it. So we're going to talk about the preparation. How do we prepare for times of trouble? There's a lot more trouble that is coming, and right now we are still in trouble, right? So we want to be able to go through that. Module number 2, part 2, is going to be how to still succeed in times of crisis and uncertainty. Because even in the midst of crisis, as we see here, or pandemics or anything that should come in the future, you can still thrive and do well. We have a lot of Bible stories about these things. So we're going to talk about that in module 2. And module 3 now, we're going to talk about the 7 skills we should develop while we are on lockdown or quarantine. Now, this might seem again, well, we were passing out of that phase, but it still is relevant, or maybe we will reward it just a little bit. But it is, these are the things that you want to develop. And some of them, for example, like we talk about resiliency, right? That's a skill that, many people don't know how to be resilient. They're always worried and stressed and don't know how to get data and make intelligent decisions. So we're going to be giving you 7 skills that you should develop now before the next crisis appears in your life. And crises are several things. That's why we say, right? Pestilences, that has to do with diseases and plagues and outbreaks also, but perils, this is disasters of any kind, financial crisis, health crisis, right? This is a big problem, right? So a health crisis doesn't have to be just like the coronavirus, but a health crisis could be you, someone gets diagnosed with a disease that is dreaded, like cancer or something. That is a crisis. Emotional and mental crisis. You're going through a divorce, you lost a loved one, you're in the grieving process. That's a crisis. What skills do I need to be able to weather those storms? Because here's the thing, some people go through the loss of a loved one and then that just took them out, right? They never recovered, they never rebounded. Even a lot of people lose their drive at certain ages, and it doesn't have to be. So all of these we will be talking about in this particular course. Eva says, I want to buy you. Oh, hey, okay, we already got a first buyer there, Eva. Eva, well, if you want to do a what should I say? If you want to do a pre-order, you're welcome. But you see, that's motivation. Here's the thing. Isn't that interesting, right? I have not yet written the book, not yet created the book. And here we have Eva is encouraging with that. So now I'm even more motivated because Eva is saying, hey, she wants to buy the book already. See what I'm saying? But if I say I'm not going to create it now, I'm robbing somebody of an material and inspiration that they need. Okay, let me share with you one more thing here. So here's how many of you can get this thing. So there's 2 things I want to do. One is I want to invite you. I think I sent out an email today. If you have, and this is not for everyone, please, it's not for everyone, but if you have a course in you, or there's something you want to create, a teaching aid, a training, something that you want to do, I'm going to invite you to participate with me as I develop this. Meaning you're going to watch over my shoulder. It's going to be either on Zoom or here on Webinar Jam. And I will show you my screen of me creating this. I'm going to show you pictures. Okay, how did I come up with the title? Why did I choose this? Did I structure, how do I go about structuring the outline of the course? I'm going to show you a demo of me recording those modules. And then I'm going to show you how I put these things on the internet. You see me design the web page. I'm going to show you, yes, me. I'm going to be the one design. I'm going to design the web page, put the content up there, and put it on the internet for people to be able to access. So, but here's the thing: you must be committed. Number one is you must have a course or idea that's something you want to teach. So it must be either an online course, or you want to develop, if you're a ministry, maybe a sermon series, or if you want to just go out and teach somebody something that you know. Here's the thing: my book, Monetizing Skills, says every last one of us, no matter who we are, should monetize their skills. This is the new economy. This is the new world. The new world is the season of the digital learner. So every last one of us can put things on the internet for sale, right? And people can learn, right? For example, I have my own private stuff, but we have, for example, it's not something we even promote much, but we have let's see, Impress the Move. We got about 100 some people in that course right now. Okay, so we have students from over 17 plus countries now, and 5 different languages that are taking our courses. So it is content that you put out there, but now remember, these are all digital people, and you only create it once. That's the beautiful thing. You only create it once. Of course, you can update it, but I don't have to go back and touch it. But you are touching people's life and blessing people. That's what we talk about, leveraging your wisdom and knowledge. This is why technology is good, because technology allows you to reach people around the world that you cannot physically be there, and you cannot always go. I can't go and accept every speaking engagement, but now I've discovered that with the power of these things, I can create them, put them online, and let people be able to, be blessed by them. Okay. So Thelma says, I want to buy it as well. All right, we have another one there already. So here's what I would like to do for you though. So that's, again, so if that's your desire, if you were thinking about that, how can I create a course? You've learned, you've seen how a lot of people, or perhaps you've taken online courses. I want to create one. Well, you can join me. Okay. That's part of the blessing for being on here. You can join me, because I'm not going to take a lot of people. I'm going to take 5, maybe 7, no more than that. Probably. Because again, you're going to ask me questions. So the more people on there, then it takes time. So I want to get through it fast, because here's the thing. I create books because I use a system fast. I create books fast because I have systems. You don't have to take the old ways of doing things are all out the window, right? This course is here. Like I said, I do have a head start here, right? Because again, I had the idea, and I already sent it out to get the cover design, but I'm gonna show you my process for that. But that's it. Nothing else. It's not done. It's not done. The course is not recorded yet, and obviously it's not online. So I want to show you proof that you can get this thing done in less than three days, right? So I want to create it in 72 hours with you. So you must have the time. You must have a course that you want to create. Those are the 2 criteria, right? So I'm gonna announce probably maybe tomorrow or something like that. I'm still finalizing it, because now we finished with this. I'm on to already the weekend. I gotta preach and so forth. So, but most likely it's gonna be next week, because again, I don't want to stay on this too much longer either. So we're looking at taking 3 days, but we're not going to do, of course, the full. We're going to probably do maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours maximum. So between 1 to 2 hours, you're going to join me. You're going to ask your questions. You're going to start with the title. How do we come up with the title? How do we find people who are interested in these things? Okay. How do I actually outline something? Whatever it is, whether you have an experience, if you want to teach people about weight loss, you want to teach people about how to get better grades. If you have a business, you want to teach somebody about real estate, or you want to teach, it doesn't matter what it is. Actually, it doesn't matter what it is. Anything you want to teach, we can help you with that, because the system and the process is the same no matter what, right? Because you go online, you can find courses in almost anything. So that's really what it is. So that's what I'm inviting you to join me on that journey. So again, you can see over my shoulder, and now you can see it's simple, because when I say it's simple, some people, well, it is simple for me. Well, that's what I'm showing you now. You watch me do it, and you'll be like, it is truly simple, because again, you got to believe. If you believe it's hard, it's going to be hard. Okay. So, and that's like coaching, right? Because of course it was hard for me at one point, but when I learned the system and process, it's no longer hard. Alrighty. So pandemic survival system, what I would like you to do when it comes out, once we get it created. So that's why I want to go next week. If I get it created, then I can edit the videos, and then the following week even, right? We want to start promoting it, and I want you to tell people about it. I want you to get access to it, and I want you to tell everybody, so that you can encourage other people to get this program. So there we go. Pandemic Survival Secrets, both the book. So once we finish the course, then maybe I'll take another group of people who want to write a book. This one is for creating a course. And then I'll show you now how to take what you have as a course and now just morph it into a book. Normally it's the other way around, right? But today I'm going to show you either way. So that's why we say you don't have to do one thing. Okay, Melissa says, I like it, just the point to improve our daily survival. Yes. And if you have any ideas, by the way, because I have my train of thought, but if you have any ideas of things that I should talk about, give me some pointers and I can put it in there as well, make it better, right? Because that's why, sometimes I serve at the church asking what kind of sermons you want. The reason for that is because you want to help people be practical. I can preach the things that I love, yes, but if it's not helping you, then it's not helping you. So, you know what I mean? So that's one way, by the way. That's one secret of how do you come up with stuff, is just ask people. Again, you see the power of ask? Jesus knew what he was talking about. Ask and it shall be given. So I'm asking you, what are some things you might want to know about surviving, times of crisis and difficulties, right? What are some of the things that you wish you knew about preparing for the future, the great time of trouble that you keep reading about in the book of Revelation, or just about financial crisis or anything like that? How do you deal with these things? Or if you have any ideas for it, even if it's a question, it could be what you would like to know. But if you also have some ideas you want to leverage in there, I can take those as well. Alrighty. The next thing I would like to share is some of you, I think I've shared a video before. Strategic Secrets this was birthed a few years ago. But as I said, one of the things in my studies and the prayer, I guess, and devotional, I guess a couple months ago, God showed me that, yes, you can create resources by yourself. But if you want to reach and really affect, we're talking about now in the tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, then you're going to need some help. So I'm inviting you to think about this and pray about it. And also I'm going to give you a website. Now we're going to change the price in there because I want to have it as a founding ambassador, meaning that I want to invite you to become part of a program, a subscription program that help us to create resources that you also benefit from. So right now, for example, I have several online courses. If you become a founding member, you get access to all of them, right? And you can watch them and go through them anytime you want, right? So, for example, we have stuff about book publishing. We have stuff about course creation. We have stuff about what else? Prayer. Well, many of you are already in that course already. But other things that you see on there, if you go to my website right now, I've already created 5 online courses personally, and then I have other people that we will be working with to add more to it. So think of it as your education, spiritual, career-wise, professional, where you can get a good balance and also spirit-filled as well, because we're not going to leave that out. Okay, we want to actually, that's the influence, and that means there are different levels. So if you choose the basic, then you will just be able to again receive all the courses. Every time we create a course, it's yours. You don't have to go and buy it unless you want to, but you don't have to. So like, for example, if we create this one, it's going to be yours. Whatever we create in the future is going to be yours as long as you're a subscriber. That allows us to do several things. One is, remember we talked about the trifecta blessing. One is now you are blessed because most people, and it's not going to be like a donation thing. It's a supporting a cause, kind of like you see people doing with, I guess, project-based funding and those different types of stuff. That's what it is, because you're receiving benefit from this, like a subscription, anything like, think of a Netflix, so that's really what I want to throw your way. So again, if you go to strategicsecrets.com/ambassadors, okay, that's where I want you to go. Look at it for now. I am going to change the pricing model because what we have there is for, again, other folks, but you guys are family. This will, again, the trifecta blessing. You are blessed. Now, we are blessed in the sense of, because we want to create more resources. I have a team of people that help me create things quickly. So, but we want to create more resources. Like, I can't wait only for me, because the way I do this, again, it happens for my paycheck and other things that I have. And so I, even though I can create faster than most people, but I'm still limited because I can only do so much, right? Because I gotta still live, take care of my own needs and so forth and whatnot. But if we have a team of people who are part of that now, we can create more resources, because we have about 12 different resources to create. Right? Think about it right now. There's a course, there's a book, then I have something on faith that we need to produce. I need to create a prayer journal that goes along with prayers that move heaven. Okay, we have another book on Christian finances. We have another one on social media addiction. All of that is, but the research is already done. It's just the writing and the process. But for me to create a decent book at even subpar, a minimum is about $1,000, right? That's the bare minimum. And so by receiving other people and pooling together resources, now if these resources comes in every single month, then I won't have to worry about taking even another month or waiting for for cash to come in, then create another thing. These can just be created right now. So for example, let's say now is May. Okay, this is what we're focusing on for May. And by the way, someone donated to make this possible, right? So, and that's why we're bringing it to life now, because it was also on my agenda. But that's what I'm saying. I got a blessing that day. I went to the post office. I don't even go to the post office much, especially because of lockdown. But when I did go, bam, there was a check there waiting. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. So now we can take this and develop this particular product. See, that's what we're talking about. So now we're not restricted. Now the product can come to life. So for example, now, so if we had, let's say 1,000 people, then in June, for example, next month, we can create 5 to 10 products in 1 month, rather than having now to wait and weigh those out, because content is going there. So again, this is something that that is one way for you to be able to benefit by that. Now think about it. If you go to my website right now, go to strategicsecrets.com, and you click on courses, you will see some of our courses like Monetize Your Skills. That's a $1,497 course. Now we've discounted it to $497, but hey, that's 400 and something bucks. But you can be, like I said, a founding member, and you don't even have to pay $500 a year, right? So that's what we're saying. It means that you have information and knowledge to make you a rounded professional in different areas of your life, rather than being one-dimensional. So some of the things that, like I said, you don't get to hear or learn about, you can, and you're not pressured to learn this one thing now. You can say, okay, this month I want to read or know about, or I'm going to master health. Next month, I'm going to master finances. The other month, I'm going to master spirituality. And the other month, I'm going to master relationship. Oh, by the way, that's another thing. I do have a relationship thing as well. That's been in the works. Again, that one is already outlined and everything ready to go, right? It's called the 5 Pillars of Lasting Relationships. So we need to bring that out. So we need your support. So again, I want you to click on there, but again, give me a second. As soon as I get off, then I'm going to update the pricing, so that way founding members are going to be the pillars, right? The foundation. We're going to send you t-shirts. We send you all these different things. If you pick certain levels, there's another level. Not only do you get every single course, but every time there's a new book that is created, we also ship that to you because you're a member. It means therefore that you won't even have to ever buy another book from us again, audio book, whatever it is, whatever we create, it all belongs to you as a member of this group. So that's the trifecta blessings. When you are blessed, you receive. So because most people, like I said, you give a donation, you don't really get anything tangible, at least. You don't get anything, but we are giving you resources and tools to, again, this is the mind. We have to develop. That's how we grow, right? Some people graduate from school and never read another book. They're not growing. They cannot move with the world. And that's what the problem we have today. Most people, the world is outliving them because they have not grown personally and professionally. Now we want you to do that. We want you to grow. And then, like I said, we are blessed because now we have more resources to be able to create more products and more excellent products. Right? If you look at all my books, they're all well done. We don't use templates. We get everything done and designed professionally, but we can even still do much better, especially with our videos and so forth. We want them to look just like you see, with the big media companies out there. We can do all of that kind of stuff with just a little more support. And then now, the reach of the people is the biggest impact, because that's how you and I now, through working together, you can now have an impact on way more people. Like I said, we've already been testing some marketing ideas. And again, but if we have the funding, like for example, you know, we have an extra fund. If someone wants to donate, for example, right now, let's say $1,000, we can reach over 1 million people. Now what, and then not only that, but not just giving them the message, but some of them will be able to receive these materials, and then we can see the big growth right there. So that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about. So now we can reach more people instead of confining ourselves to our own small spaces. That's the idea. So two things. Number one, again, if you want to create a course with me, send me an email, chance@strategicsecrets.com, or if you have my regular emails, my personal emails, that's good. I'm not going to say it on here, but if you do have my personal email, send me that. But you can send to chance@strategicsecrets.com or strategicsecrets@gmail.com. Next week, preferably, we're going to do that. If not, it's going to be early the following week. Okay, again, I can only do 5 to 7 people. I think 7 will be the cap. Okay, perfect number 7, but we, you know, ideally 5 will be good. And so if you want to claim your spot there, I think there's already 2 folks there that have claimed their spot. And so you guys are all set to go. Now, let me do this. I wish we can do it live, but because I am live, I'm using up a lot of bandwidth. I am not getting to upload my audio program. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me see all the names here. I need to take, let me take a stuff with my phone. What I'm going to do for you, because you watched all these presentations, I'm going to give you a free gift. I'm going to give you my 3 audiobooks already, 3 of them. So I'm going to give you this book here, the Power Pack Spiritual Affirmation, the audiobook. Remember, I told you one of the things I do is listen to this stuff every day. Actually, let me play some of it right now so that you can hear it, so you know I'm speaking truth as well, right? So I have an app here on my phone called Authors Direct. And so these are the 3 audiobooks. One is going to be Power Pack Spiritual Affirmations. Let's see here.
Power Pack Spiritual Affirmations
You hear
for
that?
Women. 21 quick and powerful declarations to supercharge your mind and body for daily success. Written by Randrick Chance.
Okay, so that's
Narrated
one.
by Trudy Nodler.
Then you're going to get Win Now. Remember, we're talking about Win Now. Win Now is about how to program your mind in a powerful way, and it goes to what we were talking about what we were talking about with Paul, talking about this duality or cognitive dissonance.
Success is a subject we all debate and try to figure out just how to have it.
So that's that's audiobook number 2. Then audiobook number 3 is actually Strategic Secrets. So let me show you them real quick and I get off.
In your life and career, written by Randrick.
Oh, let me slow it down. That's another speed trick, right? I've been listening to audio programs by speeding it up. So I've been training my brain to listen to information faster. That's another secret of becoming a lifelong learner and also learning fast.
Many adults ask themselves.
So this is normal speed, but I've been listening to, I've been multiplying the speed so I can get to the content even faster.
Telling us what to do, that we even want them to grant us permission to succeed.
Okay.
My friend, if you keep all your dreams dormant inside you.
Alrighty, let me stop this now. Good. Let me show you the books real quick. That one, Win Now. Okay, so these are what you're getting. Let me go back on the big screen here a second. Now we would have wrapped up already, but I know this stuff would not allow me to upload. That's the problem. See, even though you're doing stuff live, I make a mistake as well, right? So here we go. So this is Win Now, okay? This is actually one of my pen names but it's my initials, okay? So DR, right? My first name is Randrick, second name is Dylan, and my last name is Chance. So fortune means chance. So that's how I came up with that that name. Then I have the Power Pack Spiritual Affirmations, both men and women. So you're going to get the audiobook to that as well, so you can listen to it And again, it's filled with stuff, 30 minutes a day. If you listen to that every morning for 1 week, trust me, your life will be transformed. I believe that. If you listen to this stuff just for 30 minutes every single day for 7 days, your life is going to be changed, because again, now you're going to be putting the good and the positive inside of your mind. Okay. So again, I use it in the morning when you're exercising or when you getting ready, you know what I mean? So again, here's some things in there. We talk about divine guarantees, mental, spiritual, emotional, financial, all these different type of declarations. Declaration for a healthy self-image, healthy, productive work habits that you want to have, success principles, favorite Bible scriptures, dynamic breakthrough promises, right? All of these things. And in the back, you have a little workbook section where you're gonna, I think Barbara has this, right, where you're gonna write down the things that you want in your personal life. What does your dream life and legacy look like? So that's that. And again, Strategic Secrets. Okay, this is my book on success. Okay, the most effective success strategies you'll ever need to achieve greatness in your life and career. So this goes into, again, different things. There are 40 chapters. They're very short though, 40 chapters. So here are some of the things: permission to succeed, 10 simple success strategies, consistency. There we go. It talks about that, right? Wanting results without investment. It talks about 7 things to do before you die. This one is really important here. 7 things to do before you die, but how to stop tolerating mess in your life. How to stop tolerating mess. Another one, toxic relationships that will ruin your success and drain your energy. What are these toxic life relationships that you need to get under control, right? How to guard your words and reputation well. If you're in the workplace, your words and reputation are very important, and you must guard it well, okay? Because we are also in an economy where we call it the reputation capital economy, already? 7 signs you've outgrown your job, your business, or ministry, and it's time to move on. Some of you need to move on. God has greater things for you, but you're staying stuck. Some of us have lost this and that, but we stay stuck on whining. This chapter will tell you 7 signs to do it. And then the next one is how to move on without losing your mind. Life is about change and transformation. So those are the 3 things that you're going to be receiving. I'm going to send them in an email. So if you signed up here, you should be getting the email with the replay automatically. So if you, I think most of you are registered. If not, send me a text. You have my number. Maybe, okay, Pablo is on. I'm not sure if I have your email, but Melissa, if anything, you can forward to him. I think I have everyone else here. Okay, good. All righty, so let's close off. Thank you very much. Go ahead and check out again. If you want the replays, all the replays for the previous presentations are online, strategicsecrets.com/weekly replay. If you want to be with me next week to create a course, help you create your course in 3 days, then please reach out to me, send an email to me, and we'll be able to make it happen. And finally, again, if you would like to be a founding member of, if you want to be a founding member as an ambassador, ambassadors for good, right? It's a good cause to be an ambassador. Then I'm inviting you to go to strategicsecrets.com/ambassadors. That right there, my friend, is the best thing that you can do to help up level your life in so many, many great ways, okay? Lifelong learning is what it's all about in this time. Alrighty, so that's all I have for you. Thank you for rocking with me. If you want to continue, I'm going to go back to my regular schedule now. Every Thursday, for those people who are on our email list, those who follow us, we're going to go back to serving our regular community. So every Thursday at 7 p.m., so not 7:30, but 7 p.m., I come on and we do a webinar. We talk about, again, if you are interested, not for everybody, but again, here's what we talk about. We talk about stuff that helps you in your professional life, your career, your health, your finances, and of course, faith. Okay, but we don't only focus on faith. So if all you want is preaching, catch me on the weekend, because that's what I do on the weekend. That's what I do on Sundays, and that's what I also do on Wednesdays. So those days you will have only spiritual stuff, okay? But that's why I created a Thursday slot out of my week to help people to grow and apply those things you've been learning on Saturday, Sunday morning, and what else? And Wednesdays, that's when I'm with the church family generally and sharing, wisdom from the word. Those are the days. But most people don't bring those into their jobs and other things. So that's what I've been learning. And again, my background is business and management. So I'm bringing that aspect of myself to people. And not only that, but that helps me to also be rounded as well. The more I learn, the more I grow, the more I can serve people and help people better. So Thursdays, please, if you want to join us, you are free to join us. Send family members our way, or friends and so forth, or colleagues who might be. You might not be interested in it, but other people might be. And most professionals are, especially we have folks who are professional, who are doctors, who are from different backgrounds. We have people with all different types of degrees. And that's really who we focus on. The three types of people: professionals, ministry leaders, entrepreneurs, and success-minded individuals. So if that's not your cup of tea, cool. We end it here, right? We end it here, and that's all right. So no problem. May the good Lord bless you and keep you. I thank you again for all that you have done and taken the time to be with us. Delrose says, awesome presentation, very motivating. May God bless you in all you do in helping to promote a healthier physical, mental, and financial lifestyle. Thank you, Delrose. Martha says, thank you for the information. Raul says, thank you. Okay, good. Thank you all. Again, this would not be possible without you. Zelda says, what a treat. Thank you for sharing your blessing. Okay, praise the Lord. Thank you. I mean, I couldn't share without you, so it's mutual. I am watching. Mr. Pablo says, okay, my brother from Tennessee and Dr. Friend from Tennessee. God bless you. Okay, that's all. Again, go to strategicsecrets.com. Right below this, there's a link. If you want to click on there, it'll take you over there. At least you'll be able to see it, watch the video, and then you wait either for 15, 30 minutes or in the morning, and then it will be updated where you can get founders pricing instead of the pricing that is there. Unless, of course, you're okay with that kind of price there now, then knock yourself out. Why not? All righty, God bless you. Have a good night. Take care.